Hey everybody, welcome. Happy
Hey.
Cinco de Mayo. Hi Dash. Finalists. We'll talk about you today. It is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2025, and this is the 49th session for the BraveMaker Mastermind. I'm Tony Gapiso. Thanks for being here, everybody. Today is going to be a check-in day with some other questions and maybe some coaching around industry goals and moving things forward before we have an actor and voiceover person coming next week who I'll tell you about. But again, session 49. So we're coming up to our year anniversary. Glad that you're all here. Let us do a celebration, first of all, for Dashel, who is a finalist in the Easter Seals film competition. Dashel, tell us about it. What's going on? You're going to LA.
Yes, I'm going down to LA this Thursday, and a lot of amazing things are happening. For one, it's the event itself is going to be held at Sony Studios.
Awesome.
It's super awesome. And I'm going to be in the LA news,
Yes.
and I'm going to Universal Studios and meet with some executives and
Dashel.
casting director.
That's amazing. Dang, congratulations. All from day 21. Is that the short? That is
Yes.
the one in final? Okay, that's so cool. Congrats, man. That's very, very exciting.
Yeah, and it's gonna be in a film studio.
Well, we are so proud and so happy for you. Remember us as you move your career forward. And I have to tell you this, so you all know that we moved out of our space. And by the way, thank you to Olga and Kelly and Gwen who showed up to help us move. It was a grueling task that was finished at 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. But I was sweating, I was hot, I was kind of like bummed and sad as I was driving this U-Haul to our storage unit, which is on the second floor. And I was just grumbling to myself, going, "Ah, I wish things had worked out better. Wish we had another space so I didn't have to move everything twice." And I just kind of said a little prayer, like, I just need something. Ah, God, help. And a few minutes later, I was stopped in traffic, Dashel, in Redwood City, and I just turned to my left and I saw your face on the side of a bus. So that was very, very encouraging. So you were used to bring me a little hope and encouragement there. So congratulations on that as well. It was really fun. I loved that. I'll have to, let me see, where's my phone? I'll have to see. I posted it on our Instagram for BraveMaker, but it was just cool. I was feeling, the pit of frustration, and then here we go. And then there's Dashel on the bus. So congrats. That's very cool. I'm sure you have seen it, right? Dashel, you've seen yourself. What? You haven't? All right, well, I'll text you and your mom so you can have that. Yeah, that was really cool on a Sam's Trans bus. So congrats. All right. So for today, let's do well first I want to do a quick little survey for us. Ooh, I can't sometimes when I put myself on here and I can't figure out how like the remove pin does not go away. It'll come up eventually, I believe. But what I'd like to do is a couple things today with some check-ins and some coaching and updates for all of you and where you're at and what's going well for you or what's not. The other thing I would like to do is two different things. I would like to have, since we are recording this, I would like to have people do a sharing and or reflection since we're almost at our year mark of what stands out for the sessions. Maybe there was a particular person. I know some of you have moved forward with working with different people or established relationships with our past guests, or just you have like a nugget of wisdom that has stood out for you for somebody who's come and presented here. I would love to do that as a way to take the clips or your feedback almost like as a testimonial, like, oh, we had David Scarpetti and he's now funding my film, if that's true, or whatever you want to say. Okay, so things like that would be helpful. because as we hit our year, I want to celebrate that. I want to also find ways to continue to market and promote what we're doing here in Mastermind because as we hit year one, I'm motivated to go, okay, for year two, if we get more people in this group, as I've said in the past, we'll be able to start more groups. But I also want to find ways that just to create a funding pot that we can do scholarships and grants. So if we get, 20 people in these groups, then we can, after we pay all of our bills and rents and all that kind of stuff, which I'm sure our rents are going to be increasing in some way, then we can do seed money for some of the people in this group, for pitching your next project and stuff. So I'd like to do that today. And then I wanted to also, we can do this in the chat. What kind of things do you want to be learning in this group? Like what kind of people should I be going after? I got a casting director person I've been trying to schedule. We've got another person who does kind of like your pitching. This was a connection from Kelly and your why. Like what is the, how are you telling your story? How are you finding funny? What kind of things would you like to see happen in this group that we can start scheduling for the future? So use the chat and put anything in there that you're like, even just like it's a word, or if you want to see more, you want to have more actors, you want to have more producers, do you want to have more whatever? Just go ahead and do that. Reps, executives, and producers. When you say reps, we're talking like agents and managers. Yeah, 'cause I don't think we have had a manager or an agent or anything. Yeah, that would be good. How to raise money, how to cast a name cast. Okay, cool. Casting agent. Okay. Yeah, so keep thinking. You don't have to do it all right now, but I want to start looking at who I can bring in for the future. And as I'm going to be in LA a lot this month in May, I fly out on Thursday, so my eyes will be trying to find people that I'm working with down there that I can bring here on Mastermind. So next week we have her name is Stephanie. She is an actress, does voiceover stuff. She was on Star Trek's Picard and Doom Patrol. So I want to put her thing in the chat, her link in the chat, so you can kind of learn more about who she is. I met her. When did I meet her? Oh, during the fires, like the couple weeks after the fires, we were both in LA at an event that was helping sort clothes and provide for fire victims. So please give her a follow. She'll be on next week. And I think she would be great for, just talking about for actors, those bookings and surviving, but also working with directors, as some of you are, or how things look on the page for you who are writers, things that would be helpful for you to know from a working actor who's doing things in Hollywood and living in LA. So her name is Stephanie. Her Instagram link is in the chat there. Okay. Gabriele says, I love the diversity so far with people in marketing, writers, directors, faith backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, local and national people to get an idea of what other film communities throughout the US. Yeah, great. Okay, so for the next, let's do, if we could do this for the next 40 minutes, if we can maybe save the last 10 or 15, anybody who would be willing to record a reflection or something that has been significant to you about this class that we can use as promotion. Again, remember, the more people that we can get on here, the more groups we can do, the more mentoring that can happen, a relationship building that we can do. And then that also will provide some more resources for us to make films and seed things in this group. All right, well, let's do a update. We have not had that for, I don't know, a month. What are people working on? What is going well? If there's any kind of hot seat problem that anybody wants to discuss around coaching or getting some ideas, I would love to hear about what you're working on, what's going well. Anybody want to jump in there?
I can share.
Go for it, Daniel.
This is BraveMaker related, I guess. So I've been working with Stacy on her short film, the
We
policy.
can't we can't see you, by the way. Do you know that? You might not have the
Yeah,
camera. Okay.
I knew that.
Okay.
I'll turn it on.
Okay.
So I've been working on the Stacy McLamb's short film, The Policy, and Tony, I know you've seen a cut of that
Hmm.
as well. So that's going really really well. I've enjoyed the actresses are great in that one. It's really nice to I always say that when the actors are great in a film that they pretty it makes the editing very smooth. You're just like, oh, okay, it's just basically kind of finding the right moments and everything. You're just like, oh, okay, I can totally make something happen. And this was one of those one of those occasions. So yeah, got a cut, and I'm supposed to uh get it aiming to get it something done by the end of the month now, May. So yeah, it's just a little quick little share. Yeah.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
Daniel, I mean, I think Stacey would be okay saying this, but you didn't do it for free. She paid you,
Yeah. Yeah.
to edit that, and that
Yeah.
came from you and sharing in here about being an editor. So that's exciting for me is to see something that had come a job, booking from this Zoom group. So I really think that's awesome. And kudos to Stacy too
Yes.
for being able to financially compensate people because sometimes we're always asking for favors, but man, being able to pay somebody is so great. So good. I'm glad that happened here, Daniel, and I hope more editing gigs come your way.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it very
Yeah, and
much.
we're almost finished too. Daniel edited some things for me that I get to pay him too, which is
Yay.
fantastic. And I just pitched on another thing this last week, another corporate gig that I hope comes through because those things pay the bills, even though they're not all that creatively stimulating. But yeah, we're hopefully rocking and rolling there. Great, cool. Thanks, Daniel. Don't forget, I know there are some people who are just newer and getting to know everybody, but put your Instagrams or preferred contact of choice in the chat. So those of you who are just joining in or getting to know people or watching on the replay, it would be good to maybe even verbalize some of that stuff. So, like for instance, you can find me at Tony Gapason or at BraveMaker.org if you're watching on the replay. Daniel, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at my editor's Instagram is my name, Daniel Tong, editor. So yeah,
Easy peasy. Great.
cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Before you go, any challenges that you would bring up when it comes to editing that you would let us know as, as filmmakers, as writers, directors, producers, things that we could be doing better as we're getting footage that often become challenging for you on the post side?
Yeah, I actually ran into this past week during a production actually at my day job is and I bring this up a lot too if ever like I get brought on early enough in a production before anything is shot, please slate your films.
Hmm.
It's always a nice little kind of you won't believe how much time it does take if a film is not slated, a film with sound and audio. And like, and there's always several ways around it. If some of you guys know, Slate obviously is like the age old, clapboard thing, and there's also, if you have a good sound recordist and working with the DP, you can sync by time code. Those are always helpful, but it's a simple thing I always kind of bring up as an editor if you're shooting something, and it helps with the whole production too, keeping track of your shots and knowing, it's like it's both a visual and an audio like cue, right? Okay,
Hmm.
I want to take three had a great performance. Let's grab that rather than thinking, oh, I think it was clip AC 2, 3, 5. Something I just remember. It's a small courtesy.
Yeah.
It's the editor pleading small courtesy to slate your films, and yeah, that's it. Clapperboard because it does save time during the editing process, and it saves time being like, okay, there it is, let's put it together instead of searching through something. I think this is it. Let me sync it. No, 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 that's not it. So yeah, that's my little thing to look
Thanks,
out for.
Daniel.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and there's obviously the digital ones that more advanced crews will have,
yeah,
but we all can buy one off of Amazon. The whiteboard one, I think they're $20, something like that.
yeah.
We have some personalized ones at BraveMaker that we bought for like 100. They're branded, which is great. So find that, and if you don't, you can also just clap, right? You can literally clap and make sure that the hands are seen on the camera and they're heard on the mic. That stuff is gonna make your editor happy and not
Yeah.
frustrated. Yeah.
If you ever find yourself without a clapperboard, just do what Robert Rodriguez does. Use your fingers, or
Mm,
or say something. It's just like take scene three, take two. Robert Rodriguez famously for El Mariachi, they didn't have sound, right? So they had to hold up like fingers, like scene four, take two. But
okay, good.
yeah, but we live in modern times. We can just say it. So
Yeah. One
yeah,
more thing before you go. I have had this happen on a short that we did for BraveMaker Academy. So sometimes if you have enough crew and people, you have someone who's managing the files. So, the cinematographer, the camera op is recording, right? They take those cards out and gets downloaded or imported onto a hard drive or onto a computer. Sometimes you have somebody who's like the digital image technician, the DIT, who's
yeah,
overseeing all of that stuff. Usually we don't have the privilege of having all those people, so it's usually myself or the cinematographer or somebody. At
yeah,
this one point, I had an editor who was going to be on set, who was doing stuff, and he was helping, which is great if you have an editor on set who can watch some of the footage, watch what also called the dailies, maybe make some notes or say, oh, what would be great to have an insert shot here or blah, blah, blah. What is the protocol around naming files on the computer for the editor? Do you have any insight on that? Because I did have something come up where the cinematographer was really frustrated that names were being changed. Like I thought it was fine to put like scene one, take three, or scene 10, take two on the actual file on the computer to go on the hard drive, but something was frustrating the DP about that. And I wasn't sure why. Do you have any thoughts on that as an editor?
yeah, yeah. From a I think from I guess from a tech standpoint, you need the original file names to keep track of what's been recorded and all that. If something gets lost, we can go back. Oh, we can, oh, that was file AC00232827 or something. And it's an easier way for the if something gets lost, it's easy to go back to the DP.
Hmm.
From my experience, but oh, this file's not working. Can you send me that other file? Send me that file back. And oh, sure, it's this one. And
Okay.
for me, I do tag these files once they come to me. But on mostly on the Premiere end.
Got it.
And what I do is I'll keep the file name up front, but then I'll maybe add like a dash scene one, take two at the end, to help me on the editing side to like again, if I need to sync anything, I'll know, okay, it's that file with this file. And
Okay. So
uh
I'm always thinking like management and file organization wise that when you give a hard drive, it's like for me when I look at it, it's all gobbledygook because it's all
yeah,
these things.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, but you as an editor and as a DP, that is how it should be. It should not be changed or in any way edited outside of potentially putting them in folders. Is there something to be said about full, or do you just prefer like card one, card two, card three? And this is getting down deep into the weeds inside baseball, but I think it's really important for new filmmakers who
Yeah,
are making stuff because this stuff is where it really becomes, you waste time on the post side if you don't know what you're doing.
I can do an entire like lecture about organization and stuff like that. So my day job is as an assistant editor,
Yeah.
and the assistant editor is the one to kind of, well, you have to discuss with the director and producer as well to be like, okay, what do you prefer? Is it okay if we change these and organize these this way? Sometimes so everyone's kind of on the same page because you're organizing it in a way that everyone can read it. I think the challenge of uh, assistant editing is organizing the project in a way that if I hand this off to someone else, they'll know where everything is and know
Yeah.
how it
Good.
goes. So I think that's if you ever do want to change like the file names, it's just simply ask DP, hey, is it okay if I change the file names? Will it throw you off if I change these? And sometimes they'll say no, sometimes they say, yeah, it's fine. And I think just by practice, if I don't have access to DP, I will keep the file names as is. And I will organize them by, if it's a day with multiple cards, I will start off by just doing like day one and then subfolder. card one, card two, card three. And it can get deep too if there's two cams. And card okay, day one, card one, another subfolder, cam A, cam B, cam A,
Yeah.
cam B. So it can get very Inception. It can get deep
Uh-huh.
into like a dream within a dream stuff. So yeah.
And as we're all doing, shorts and indie things, just take as best of notes as you can. This is what was a card one.
Yeah.
Take note, like the script supervisor is doing, even if you don't have somebody who is like a professional script supervisor, just going, hey, this was take one, this was take two, this was take three, and you just have little notes on what was the one that they want to use, what angles there are, all that kind of stuff. I think is super, super helpful. And your best friends are hard drives, backup, backup, backup. As we just moved out of BraveMaker, I had like 2 tubs of all these hard drives. I was like, wow, I got to go through all these because I probably don't, some of the movies are 5, 6 years old. I'm like, I think it's time we can, erase these now, which is great. But
Yeah.
hard drives,
They're
hard drives.
expensive, so you can save money.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But always back up, right? Always back up things.
I wanted to share this little tool you mentioned, DIT.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of that, and here's my little tool here for DIT.
What's
It's
that?
This is a cookie box.
Okay.
So cookies, but then, but the most important thing, it's a little compartment with two compartments. So, I've had bad experiences where I lost track of the cards and lost
Mm.
footage, and
Mm.
it's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah.
And so, keeping track of drives and everything, that's a big thing. Keeping track of cards as well. This is what I do on set. In, out. I'll put a tag in, out. And basically, if I'm at the desk DIT, I'll just tell if they're ready. Hey, just put
Mm.
the cards that are ready to be transferred here. And oh, you need a card? Just grab the ones that are here. Once I'm done, I'll put them here.
Nice.
And just grab. So, simple tools like that will sometimes will help you like, yeah, keep track and make sure nothing goes wrong. Multiple drives as well. Like Tony said,
Yep.
always
Yep.
have at least two, preferably three.
Yep.
One for the editor, one for the director, one for the producer.
Love
Uh,
that.
but if you can't manage it, two. So,
Thanks,
uh,
Daniel.
yeah.
So good. I remember Shauna at Three Wishes, Guillermo had 3 hard drives and they were all labeled. And it was great. That
Yeah.
was like so delicious to see because
Yes.
you felt safe with the footage. Cool. That's good. Thank you for going down the rabbit hole on editing stuff.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Who else would like to share something? A win, a challenge, something you're working on? Give us an update. Hi, Anita.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, so I just got done filming on Saturday, and I'm still tired. I don't know why I felt so physically drained.
What did you film?
So I mentioned it before, but I'm filming a short series. It's called Cozy Corner. It's about a diverse group of actors who pursue acting later in life and the bond that they have after one of them passes away. So it's based on true events. It's happened this past year. I'm dedicating it to my friend. And this Saturday, we got together and we filmed just one scene. It's a parking lot scene. And some things I just wanted to share. One, I've been traveling a lot and I've been like, haven't been doing a lot of the production. And so I've been consciously reminding myself to like reach out to your production assistant, let them know what you need, and like just communicating with everybody. And I just wanted to share that like I get really in my head when things aren't perfect or planned as much as I want them to be. And so this weekend, although it was amazing and everything worked out perfectly, but coming up to it, I was feeling really stressed. I was just feeling like overwhelmed and not prepared. And I'm just really grateful because the people that I did ask to be my director and my roommate ended up helping out last minute with the film. Like I just had so much support from everybody. One thing I was really grateful for.
Anita, we're hearing a lot of background noise. Maybe you
Okay.
want to put, yeah, that
Is that
helps.
better?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was really grateful that I had people from all over, like helping in different ways. I had a friend who lent me their drone so I could get the drone shot, and I had never driven a drone before, but I got the shot. And that was like the biggest, well, I just like backed up. That was such a big win for me, is just
Yeah.
getting that shot. And so and then we filmed the whole thing. So my director, again, I'm really grateful I asked him opposed to taking it on myself like I did last time, because there were certain things where I just genuinely feel really uncomfortable making people sit and stay longer and getting the shot one more time. Like there's part of me that's like, oh, I feel so bad for making
Mm,
people wait and it's cold outside and we're hungry and we're tired. But he was such a good director and just keep making sure we got the shot and ensuring everybody like what to do and like how to make it as fast and efficient. So that's one thing I learned, and I'm really grateful that I asked someone else. One challenge that I would say that I had um, is one just like with the craft and not having like enough food prepared, and
mm.
like we had snacks and things, but we were shooting from 3 p.m. until 11 p.m. And by the end of it, people were just like I said, tired and exhausted. And so that's one thing that I want to be more mindful, make sure I have like proper craft. And then when we shoot the indoor, I'm just also thinking about having a proper shot list, because we didn't really have a shot
Mm.
list when we were doing this. And so that's
Yeah.
one of the things where I was like, oh, I don't have a shot list, we can't film it. But at least I feel a little bit more prepared of things that I know that were hard, and things that like, okay, I know I can know what I need to make sure I have for next time.
Yep.
And also just getting really comfortable with that, like long days and making people wait, because had someone left early, it probably would have changed a lot of things. So
Thank you for sharing. Okay, so let me encourage you, get all that, type that all into a document, like everything you just shared and you
okay.
learned, because then next one you should go back and look at that and go, okay, this is what I have to make sure, get more crafty, make sure I have my slate, all of those things, get my shot list, even if it's just like a simplified shot list. But it's so cool to hear, and kudos to you because you're learning as you're doing, which is awesome, you know? And then I think the other thing, if you get that into a document, you can share that with other people, and that'll be so helpful. Somebody that you know that's making a film for the first time, just go, oh, here, can I send you this document for free? Let me just, tell you what I learned, and get it all there, because it'll be so good to be able to pass that on, because they're just things you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And then you're on set and you're figuring things out, So I think that's one of the best ways to learn. Yeah. So great. Thank you for sharing. And one thing I've learned as a director is say something else besides let's do it one more time, because one more time becomes usually three or four, and then you start getting yourself, you feel silly, or your actors are like, you just said one more time 5 times. So finding something else, like let's do it again, or we're going to do another one, as opposed to just saying that one time because we've heard that someone else somewhere else on set. So cool. Thanks, Anita. That was great. All right, who else wants to share? Give us an update, share a problem or a challenge you might want help with, or something just like Anita shared that you have learned on set that has been helpful. Anybody? Anybody?
I can go. I guess I have a challenge to share that I've been noticing I've been struggling with a little bit lately, which is pretty much just finding the balance. 'Cause the challenge is not having enough time or space or energy to be writing my scripts and stuff and
Mhm.
devoting my time and energy to those projects. Um, I know what I need to do is just make it part of like my weekly schedule, but that's the challenge, is just, making that a priority and like sitting down and being like, okay, what this day every week I'm gonna, spend some time writing, and just figure out how to fit that into my schedule and figuring out how to balance that with all the other stuff I have going
Yeah.
on that I'm working on. And so that's my challenge. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it so it's not a challenge anymore and I can consistently write every week.
So Anita puts in, "Do you want an accountability buddy?" And I would
Yes,
say,
please.
yeah. Is there something you can do with a
I've
fellow
actually,
friend?
yeah, definitely. I've actually joined this online writers group where we basically swap like scripts and like discuss and
Beautiful.
share notes and stuff, but it's been kind of inconsistent for scheduling wise. So
Yeah.
it's not like a regular weekly thing. It's kind of just like scattered here and there.
Yep.
So Yeah, an accountability buddy for sure. It would definitely help a lot.
I would say writers in this group would be great to go. Okay, if Anita and Shauna, you go, let's find a time. I have something every single Friday morning, every single Friday. And I've been doing it for 6 years, every single Friday. Now, do I miss sometimes? Yes. It started out with six of us. Then it went down to four. In fact, Kelly, you'll know Juliana Folk. Juliana Folk was in that writers group like 6 years ago with us, and then she dropped out. And it's now two of us who have remained, and it's amazing. It's a woman from Kansas City that we met from another screenwriters class that we were in. Every single Friday, it's on our calendar. And like this week, I'll be in LA, so I'm like, I can't make it. Sometimes she's like, I'm on set, so she can't make it. But every single Friday, I know I have to deliver pages, and we each get 30 minutes where we read each other's stuff and give each other feedback. Now that works for us. I liked it when it was for people two or six. We each got like 15 minutes. So find something that works for you. But if it's on the calendar every single week, I like homework. I have like an assignment. I have to show up with pages, which is great. And sometimes when we both know we're going to miss 2 or 3 weeks at a time, then Shauna, like we send each other pages and we give each other notes on email. I absolutely love it. So Anita, Shauna, maybe you two chat, try something, but I really recommend getting it on your schedule. Like it's a workout, like it's, lunch every Tuesday at 12 or whatever. And it will bust your butt. And I guarantee you will find, if you're consistent with it, you will see results. You will go, since I've been in this group 6 years, we both have seen each other write major features and pilots. We're both taking roadmap writers classes together and share. It's phenomenal. And I don't want to add anybody else to it because I just love it. It's great. It really works for us right now. So Anita and Shauna, if we can help facilitate anything
Oh
or,
yeah,
if
we're already in
Yeah,
the
all
we're
right.
works.
we're in the DMs.
Beautiful,
Thank
beautiful.
you,
That's
Anita.
great. That's great. Okay, let us know how that goes, okay? And if other people are interested or want to participate in that, I think that would be really cool. I kind of have dreamed too about BraveMaker being able to have some sort of writers group like this before, in the past. So if you two talk through this and find something and you go, you want to get more people to it, and then maybe eventually we can pop a mentor or two in it to do some insight. Justin Lee, who did our screenwriters class intensive a month ago, he and I are going to start teaching together because I ended up jumping in on the class a couple times, and because he's really good at one part of things, but I really love like getting on the page and talking about what things look like practically on the page. So we're going to probably have a screenwriters class teaching it together in the fall, which I'm very excited about. Cool. Anybody else?
I can do a quick one.
Hi,
First,
Belhika.
I love that shirt on you, and I love the way it looks with your tattoos.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I didn't really think I had an update, but I'm doing self-tape May, and Gabriele is too. And I realized that other actors are finding about it through me. And if you guys don't know, it's basically a free acting challenge that a podcast slash actor created, where you do 16 self-tapes in the month of May. And it's just like practice. Like you can do real auditions, you can do practice auditions, whatever. And I'm doing it, and hopefully this is my third year, and hopefully I actually finish all 16. I'm giving myself grace and allowing myself to do real auditions for this challenge, because usually I'm like, no, they have to be 16 real auditions. The podcast is called Audrey Helps Actors. And so yeah, I'm having like a lot of fun, and I don't know why. I think it's because I'm delusional and honestly stupid. I'm vlogging all of it. So I'm posting way too many videos and in the middle of like auditioning already a lot. So
Fun.
yay.
No, it's great. I follow that too. We should put the link in the chat for Audrey Helps Actors because it's a great podcast for actors. And I think it's good exposure. It's work. It's momentum. People are seeing you're dedicated to your craft. That if I'm a director, I'm like, this person is someone I want to work with. Look at all the work that they're putting in behind the scenes. Yes, that's super huge. Anita says, anyone here have a YouTube? Hello? Yes, there are a few YouTubers in this group. Throw those in the chat. Thanks, Belhika. Appreciate you. All right. Anybody else? Updates. Go
I
ahead,
can go.
Gabriele.
I can go.
Oh, go ahead, Gwen, and then Gabriele.
Oh, Gabrielle, you can go
No,
actually.
you
Go.
go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So sorry, there's some glare on my screen. A lot actually has been going on. We got ransomed to the point where we thought it was actually literally completely done. And we were trying to do it in time for a particular film festival deadline. And Devin was working on this VFX, and he, rendered it and uploaded it, and it took forever and all that kind of stuff. And he sent it to me, and I watched it just to make sure, and it actually had an error in it. So, but we decided to go ahead and make that deadline and put the screener in Film Freeway anyway, figuring that the jury won't know. They probably, hopefully they won't be watching it that closely, so closely that they'll be like, wait a minute, that's weird. And then as soon as Devin is supposed to finish it tonight, so we can make another deadline that's today. And I can switch it out because I don't want that screener to be on for very long, right? Like I want to get the correct one as soon as possible. But to just have it finally to the point where it's up on Film Freeway. We've submitted to a festival. I'm looking at submitting it to two or three more festivals within a week. It's a totally it's a totally different it's a totally different situation, right? It just feels totally different instead of pushing for completion to now be looking at more in terms of marketing or PR. So you guys might have noticed that suddenly like little videos are cropping up on Instagram. So that's me like teaching myself how to do videos on Instagram. And then I'm like, oh shoot, wait, now I need music. Oh, I gotta go back to Canva and like put music in. And so it's just round and round learning all these things. And like on the weekend, I was like, okay, really, I should build a website. I don't know how to build a website. So I'm going to learn how to build a website. And so with every step in this, like the learning curve has been this mountain. Um, and it feels good to have all the mountains behind me, but I look forward and it feels like I have as many mountains in front of me.
Hmm.
So I'm in this weird emotional place where like I'm super excited and I want to cry all the time.
Join the
So
club.
that's where I'm right now. And I do
That's great.
sometimes just like start crying out of
Yeah.
nowhere. But on the other hand, I do feel like it's amazing to have had the opportunity to learn so much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And then actually the other thing that I'm trying to do, sorry, I don't mean to take all the airspace, but
No, you're good.
I realized that I didn't really specifically thank everybody that gave stuff. So I'm kind of going back and like making videos of the restaurants, and posting that as a thank you and then tagging them. And it's fun to get comments back from them. And then like sending things to donors and saying, hey, here's the music for the credits and your donation paid for that, and this is the person who did it. And like that kind of stuff it's really fulfilling. And like I can't remember who was talking about, I think Tony, you were talking about paying people. Like paying people is my favorite part of this. Actually, it feels so good to be able to compensate people. And so yeah, so I feel like I'm kind of going in circles, you know what I mean, going backwards and trying to find all those donors and make sure they feel appreciated and tell them that what they did was really impactful.
What I like about that, and we all can learn and make notes, is just being specific. People like to hear their name. They like to see specifically what they're doing. I'm making a video today as well in the same way about BraveMaker and our donors, because our 53 people that they give need to know like what they're paying for. They're paying for, our insurance, our legal fees, our now our new storage, all those kind of things. And that I think is really important. And I were you around for the Leah branding social media video, or did you watch that at all?
Yeah. So the funny thing about that was I was the person on that mastermind who was like, I will never do Instagram. I hate Instagram. I think it's the evil empire and like just so anti social media. And now I'm
Now you're the
they're
queen.
slaving away on a video, and my husband's like, so how's that Instagram coming for you?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well, I want to give you compliments and kudos because I see it, and I think anybody else is seeing it. We see the work that you're doing. It's great. It's inspiring, and I would implore you to keep going because it does make a difference. And Leah is the queen of this, saying like, with one follower or 10,000 followers, you are reaching people in your pocket, and keep doing that. And I think it can feel fruitless and futile, but it really does make a difference. So those of you who aren't following Gordon, underscore stories, please do, because you can see and learn too, like what she's doing. And, just real quick, if I could give you some, make sure you, like Leah says, do something branded on your highlights, and you could probably add another one on there, get like two or three, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
forgot about highlights. I need to do that more. I'm focused so much on creating
right,
post reels
right.
that I need to go back and now I have to remember how to do that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think, I love seeing these kind of things. I love that you're calling out donors. There's no time frame on those things. You don't have to do it immediately. It's nice when you do. You can do it twice. You can do it a month after, a year after. I think it's just all cool content to consider. So I give you kudos for that. We see your face, we see what you're doing. Uh, Rebecca, I love that sweatshirt. You also you can go back and edit things, by the way, and put captions. I just noticed there's no captions on some of your things. So feedback wise would be put a little word on there, or caption, so that if just another way to get people, or hook people in with a strong caption, even on a reel.
If I go back and add a caption to something, does it delete it and start over again?
Not at all. Nope.
Oh, that's good because I
Yeah.
was thinking, oh, I don't really know what to say in a caption, but I should put donation information and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of things I look to. Like there's like best captions to hook your audience. Like
Mm,
what I wish I knew before I started filming, or
mm,
at the end of the day, this is the most important thing. People are like, oh, what's the most important thing? And I wrestle with doing those things too, with having good captions. But there's all sorts of trainings or ideas and hooks to get you. But putting something on there is important. They used to not let you tag or at a collaborator if you didn't do it on the very first post, but now they let you. So you can actually go back and
mm.
make somebody a collaborator on the reel, or tag somebody after the fact too, which is a
Got it.
nice,
And,
notification that people get.
and you can't caption a reel, right?
Oh, you
Only a,
can. You can.
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. So if you just, real quick tutorial, if you just go onto your reel. So for instance, like here's a reel I did for East Oakland Youth Development Center. You do the three little dots at the top right, and then you're going to go to edit, and it'll just open it up in the same way that you saw when you were first posting, and you can edit again.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I see it. Wait, edit
So
Oh, I
top
see
three,
it.
and then you
Awesome.
see, yep,
Thank you so much.
you got it.
See
So edit
every
is the
day.
very
Thank you
bottom.
so much.
And then you can also, don't forget, you can do things like, if you wanted, you could see the insights like up here. So
Mhm.
go watch your analytics and see how many people are watching it and where, and et cetera, et cetera. And
Right.
don't, and then you can pin it. That's another thing. You could pin your top three posts. So your
Mhm.
most important posts, if you look on my personal, you'll see, my top posts are when I was on Live on the Bay, and my favorite two headshots. And then on BraveMaker, we try to pin our most three upcoming events or something like that. And
And how do
also,
you do highlights again? Can you highlight something that you just posted, or do you have to do the new and highlight?
yeah, highlight is all like, so for instance, whatever you did on your stories in the past 24 hours. So you would go to the bottom right, the little
Yeah.
dots again, click on that, and it'll say highlight. It'll say delete story or highlight. You
Oh,
click on highlight, and then you can put that into one of your highlights. You can put it into one that you already have,
but if
or
your stories are gone, they're gone.
they're gone. Yeah.
Okay.
And is a highlight only stories?
Yes.
Because I've only been doing posts and reels.
Well,
So,
you can put your reel in a story.
okay.
And if
Wait,
you,
God, we have
sorry,
so much
Kelly,
to learn.
what did you just ask? Because it was at the tip of my brain. I just found out what you just asked, and there's something different. You, s-
How to do
oh,
high,
if they disappear.
yeah.
Okay, so there's a setting that you can put archive all of my stories. So then
Okay.
later you can come back and choose what you highlight. Whoa, I'm glad that
Great.
came back. It like left me.
How
nice.
do you do, where do you do that? Do you,
If you guys want, I can send you videos because I always watch on YouTube how to do this because Instagram changes so much. But it's in the settings. I'll send you a video.
thank you.
Oh, see, learning. We're good
Thanks,
here.
guys.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Okay, we got time for one more. Anybody else want to share any updates or ask a question or something that you learned? We got Gabriele. Oh, yeah.
Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
there. I have a hopefully I made a list so I could so personally, I recently decided to move in with my dad, my brother, my stepmom out in Tracy, so Central Valley gang. But I've been planning to go to at least San Francisco. That's where I have my faith community and yeah, working opportunities out there at least 2 to 3 times a week. So right now, practically, I literally moved in officially last Thursday night. So it was quite the journey. My mom helped me out. So practically right now, just setting up my space. Just because right as I was in the middle of moving, I got an audition request through my agency, and I was like, I literally had no tripod, no nothing. I just had my laptop and just boxes, and I made it happen. I did that. So that was my first self-tape. Yeah, wanting to challenge myself. So thankfully Belika created a accountability group on Instagram to just share it. And she even took the time to make a doc of things we could share through our self-tape. So going through that. I'm just trying to make sure too, practically making sure my transportation's up to date. I definitely need new tires to get around. Self-tape May. I also signed up few weeks ago for the South by Southwest conference in Arizona just because
Southwest Actors Conference.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm not gonna scream, but I'm gonna scream when I mute myself.
yeah. Yeah, just because I was like, that looks so cool. I actually really love Arizona too. I've been there a couple times. Um oh yeah, I recently applied to do press for BraveMaker for hopefully La Leaf for a couple days. So waiting to hear back just to, ask people who's someone brave in your life or what's a brave moment in your experience just to get more out there and hopefully Chicano Hollywood too in July. The baile reading that was also happening while I was moving.
Yeah, congrats to Becca and the team. It's going down this weekend.
And Saturday, May 10th. So excited for that. And then yeah, just continuing. Today was my day after this call to kind of hone in on my to-do list. And I guess my question is, in a practical way, how does everyone organize their to-do list, especially the different areas of your life? Like for me, it's acting, but writing, but personal. Because I just use the Notes app on my iPhone and then Google Calendar to put it in. So I just wanted to ask, what does everyone use?
Anyone want to put their responses in the chat? How do you organize things besides the tyranny of the urgent?
Mhm.
I think scheduling is super huge. Nita says, I use Notion. Need tips too, Kelly said. The Notes app is mostly what I use too, and written lists on paper. I write things on my mirror in my bathroom as well, like for the day when I'm brushing my teeth. I go, what's on the top of my mind? So last night I was like, MasterMind, survey what topics we should be going after, get testimony, just things like that. Because people will say who are professionals in this is your to-do list is always going to be so long, but there are going to be best times in your day where you're going to be most productive. I think that is the most important thing is when are you most productive? And make sure you're scheduling your most productive hours with those most important priority lists, right? Making things that are money oriented, due dates and deadlines and things that you have to do. If you have a self tape, obviously that's going to prioritize other things, memorizing lines, etc. So I don't have a ton of major tips other than your schedule is got to be your best friend. Shauna was saying that earlier too, is you got to schedule time for the priorities and what you want to do and block things off. And probably also block off social media interactions or find ways to reward yourself when you do accomplish those things. I used to reward myself with reading a Variety magazine or Hollywood Reporter after I worked out, because I was like, I love reading those things. And sometimes I'll just lay around and read it or go on social media. I got to work out first and then I can reward myself after with that kind of thing.
Anita wants to show her screen. I'm curious what she's got.
Oh, sure. Anita, go for it.
The Virgo here. Okay, let's see if it'll let me.
That's good. I'm a Virgo too, so maybe it'll work.
So I've been creating educational content for the past 5 years, and this is something that I use once I got a team. So Notion, you guys can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Notion is a platform where it pretty much just helps you organize a lot of things. I like to have something inspiring here just to like help me and like remind me of my goals. And then I have my goals right here. And I always type just a few things I'm celebrating before I start my day. But usually on Mondays, this is what I do. I like fill out my goals, my revenue goals. Even if I'm just trying to make $100, like I try to make sure like I'm writing all the things that are coming up. But the main thing I wanted to show you guys is this to-do list part that they have. So like today I'm doing a money date. It shows you like who to assign it to if I have different people like on my team. But this is just for me. You can put a due date on there. It's a priority. And then once it's done, you can click it and then it disappears. And then another thing that really helps me is my content calendar. So I pretty much have just a flat like system that I created like when it comes to my content. I don't have it filled out obviously, but what I would do is just fill out like what I'm doing each day, the main task, and then you can even click in here and get even like more nitty gritty with things. But this is just something that I like to invest a lot of time into to like get really organized. And then I just feel more productive when I do have my content and stuff. And then the other thing, I know we were talking about this earlier, but the archive, this is my phone screen. But if you go to these three little buttons right here, and then you'll find this. Nice. No, archives, that's where all of our stories are.
Beautiful.
And we can do highlight right there.
Beautiful. Nice tutorial. Does Notion have a subscription?
I think it's free.
Ooh, even better.
There's a free one, and then you can upgrade to do like premium. And then I was just putting it in the chat, but different people will create really cool templates because it basically starts off empty. And if you want to like save a few hours and have somebody else do it, you can search on Etsy or just Google like actor related to-do list, Notion templates and things like that. We'll sell a ton of them for usually like $5 to $35, depending on how complex it is.
Okay, super informative today, you all. Thank you for that. Thank you, Gabriele, for your updates. Keep working, keep cranking. Can I get the last 5 minutes? Would people be willing to just give us a little testimonial, like anything you can say about being a part of the mastermind, if it's just like one sentence or a quick little snapshot of who you connected well with, or something that you've taken away, something that has been like meaningful in the sessions, anything that would be appealing for somebody else to hear, like what the heck is this group, so that we could promote. All right, go for it. Dashel, you are up.
I would say for me, the best session by far, not just seeing you all the time, but also the session with Justin Lee about theme and storytelling is very important to me, since I'm a storyteller my own self, and we all are, and I find it super interesting, and I really am gonna take those words to heart personally.
Awesome. Thanks, Dashel. Justin Lee, Lord Miller, creative executive. Fantastic. All right, cool. Who else would like to share something? Is that heart meaning you will, Gabriele? Or is that heart just you loved what Dashel said?
It could be both.
Okay, good.
I would say this group, no matter how crazy and fluid and all over the place your life may be as a artistpreneur, as it was shared one time in our call, it's really been a consistent group to meet up. And every time I've come, no matter how tired I am in the beginning, waking up, it's always been worth it. And I've always felt inspired, and it gives me the catalyst I need for the week to go back to my to-do list or go back to the vision, or like, yeah, why am I doing this? And especially hearing everybody's wins, and even the not so like big wins, like just being real with one another. It's been really great experience, and definitely worth the the investment, especially as, like I said, like an artist.
Gabriele, thank you. And I also take such pride and happiness and satisfaction seeing you all collaborate together, like with what's happening with Becca. I'm so happy for what's happening there this weekend. So cool. Gwen.
Sure. So the thing that I've found to be really amazing about MasterMind is that I've been making my first short film over the last few months, and it feels like every time I need a particular thing, that's the topic that's being addressed that week, right? Like everything from on-set, keeping everybody working together on set to marketing strategy to film festival strategy. It's like what I needed at every phase of filmmaking. And I mean, it was it's also been amazing to have the filmmakers all encouraging each other and giving each other advice. I mean, today was a great example, right, of being taught some really cool things. So it's just been amazingly helpful every week.
Thanks, Gwen. Yeah, and we get to all celebrate your movie, and because we've seen it from table read to, behind the scenes to a cut. I mean, all that stuff is super cool. And Belhika, you are up.
I was trying to pay attention to Gwen, so I forgot a little bit, but I don't want to make this too long. I have really enjoyed Mastermind as like a friend making environment, and it's almost like going to a mixer in person. But I really like this because we're talking one-on-one with everybody, and even with the guests, it's really great to be able to connect with them in a more slow-paced environment versus when you're in person at an industry event, you're like, I shouldn't talk to them for too long, and this is like relaxed. So I really like that we get to chat together in a more chill environment and learn.
Yeah, thank you. I like that too. I think that's a great way to put it, like the virtual mixer, the virtual workshop, and sometimes at the in-person things, there's like a line of people. You're like, I don't want to take up too much time. I want to get their Instagram, I want to get their content. Yeah, that's a great example. Cool. Great. Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything?
I'll do one.
Okay, Kelly.
Um,
Hold on one sec. Let me pin you.
okay. I really love connecting with everyone on BraveMaker's Mastermind. And the speakers like David Scarpetti and Shelley Dennis and really all of the speakers have been awesome with sharing their knowledge and connecting with us, encouraging us. I always leave super inspired with to-do list items and ideas for the week, and it keeps you going.
Boom. If we can keep people going, if we can keep people moving forward, if we can keep people hopefully inspired to achieve their goals, then I feel that this is a win for us every single Monday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time, the Brave Maker Mastermind. It's for makers of all kinds on this call. There are editors, there are writers, there are directors, there are actors, there are producers, there are multi hyphenates of every kind. There are people who have made films, many films, feature films. There are people who are just starting, and everywhere in between. And that is why we're inviting you to come and consider being a part of this. If you're interested, you can go to bravemaker.com/mastermind. Not only do you get the Zooms that I often call it's like a creative support group and professional development with guest speakers, but you also get half off of our film festival passes and tickets that go on sale in June. You get half off of other events. You get 20% off of our classes. You get free mixers once a month in the Bay Area and in LA. So please consider becoming a member of the Brave Maker Mastermind because I want this kind of community for myself. I want the inspiration to go after my goals and to make films. And if you do, you know where to find us. Cool. That's it. That's our day. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a fantastic week. Belika says, I got a text from my agent and got to go do a last minute self tape. Go, go, go. That's how we do. Anybody else want to stay on? I'll be on for a few minutes, but I know Becca, you have your thing on the 10th, which is Saturday, and you've got Gabrielle who's going to be a part. Is there anybody else? Is Art and Teresa Donahoe? Who else is going to be a part?
You know,
Uno, fantastic.
um,
I'm
Elika?
going.
Belhika, yes, sweet.
I'm trying to think of all the casts. Uh, yeah, yeah. So I haven't sold a lot of tickets. It's a little frustrating. And I was like, I think it's a Latino thing where,
Mm,
all the family members are like, I'm just gonna show up, and I'm like, I don't know how much food to buy if you do.
so hard.
So yeah, so I'm kind of like, I'm not gonna worry about it. I've actually had a really, really tough week.
Mm,
I I'm recovering from, having a condition where my bones were affected.
mm,
And so I have scoliosis on top of it. So I think that's progressed. And then I was down last weekend and most of the beginning of the week with piriformis syndrome, which is very, very painful. It's basically like sciatica on crack.
mm,
So so just I think about people with, their lives and people trying to do, things like this where it's just like you're coming up with the money plus, I don't have kids and all that stuff, but people that do, even people that have physical disabilities that are in the arts and try to like get beyond that. So I'm really connected to that. But I think I just learned to kind of relax because you can't get your like health messed up when you're stressed about anything. And this isn't a big stress, but it's gonna be fun. People might just show up and I'm just kind of like, well, then you don't get any food. You didn't let me know. And this is really for us.
yeah.
It's for the actors and you just keep going and like you go on to the next fundraiser and the next thing. So yeah, so I'm taking it really easy right now and just trying to take care of myself first. And I think that's a real important thing for people to do is like make sure that you put that on your calendar. Speaking of calendar, is taking care of yourself, like your health, your financials, like take care of that, like make sure you're on track, you know. So yeah, and the actors are incredible. It was just the reading was really, really fun.
Mm,
So we did a Zoom practice run and then an event Saturday and we'll see who shows up. So
that's great.
yeah, yeah,
I know it's a lot of work and the fundraising and the development, it's all part of that process. And just document it, talk about that because everyone thinks, oh, making movies is such a dream. No, it's so hard. And people want to give up all the time. And everyone thinks it's the red carpet and the screening. No, to get to that point, you have no idea how many times people were crying or feeling alone or wanted to give up. I mean, I feel like I want to give up all the freaking time. And just telling yourself, like, it is worth it because I'm realizing something that's within me, that's been put in me, it's divine, that's spiritual, that's mental, emotional, and physical, and I have to like literally labor to bring it into the world. So I just give you so much kudos, and if there's anything we can do to support, I'll keep putting it out there on social. But we want to see you succeed. So if there's specific things that you need during this time, please let us know. It's Saturday at 4:30, right?
right, right, yeah.
Okay. I wish I could be there. I'll be in LA, but
I know.
um, everybody who's a part of your, put this onus on the actors too. Like, can you help get it out there? Can you invite one person? What is the cost again?
It's 25.
$25.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want mean to put work on you because I know that sometimes people give me ideas. I'm like, well, you're putting work on me, but I'll donate $25 to you if you want to like raffle off a free ticket or do something like that. I can Venmo you $25 and use that for like, buy one, get one free or something like that. If someone buys one, they get one free, or I don't know, finding creative ways to get the word out there is something, through social media you might want to consider with your actors too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think and I just gave myself grace because I was struck down for like,
Hmm.
a few days and Shane was really taking the helm of it because he's the founder of the Q Players who's hosting it.
Hmm.
So he's been really great. And so, I just let him know, like, hey, I am not feeling good. Like, I am not here,
Yeah.
100%. And he was just kind of like taking over, asking me questions, asking me what we needed for the actual event. But
Yeah.
just giving grace to myself. I'm like, well, sometimes you can do what your limits are,
Yeah.
ask for help and then give yourself grace from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just the very, very beginning. So I'm sure like once we actually get to production, when it's really crazy, and that I look at, that's the real stress. This is nothing to like get so worked up about. So yeah. Yeah. So,
Well, let us know how else we can do. Again, I'll donate $25. So use it however you want. And
sorry, I'm also at work.
yeah, no,
Yeah, it's
totally.
okay.
How many people do you need to fill the space to feel successful?
50.
And how many tickets sold so far?
Free.
Okay.
So I got a lot of promises like, oh, we're coming, we're coming.
Yep.
So I was like, great, this is gonna just,
Yep.
max out. But like I told a lot of my family's doing the work too and telling other people, and then they're telling me all these people are coming. But I said, it doesn't work that way. You guys actually have to like go in and get a ticket. And I think it's just maybe demographics, or people are just kind of like, well, just show up at the door, you know.
It's such a common thing. Every month, our monthly mixer, people are so slow to get those tickets
I
and
did it.
come. Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe putting a closing, like when do you have to get the food order in? Is it Thursday? Like, do you have to say, hey, tickets closed Thursday? I need to know. Please get it in. Give them a cutoff date, put the pressure on people. And
Yeah.
then I don't know if you're doing this, but it's hard when you're getting people to give their time. But like all of your actors, can they purchase a ticket to help? It's like one of those things like you can't be funding the food for everybody, or can you? I don't know. So think about that too. Like, hey, everybody, it's $25 a ticket, but can you pay $20 to cover the food for, whatever. Like I think that's a gracious thing, and it doesn't feel like it's too much to ask, especially if they're also benefiting in a way too. I know I often feel like I'm asking people to come. I don't want to make them pay, but I also don't want to go into debt here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not that expensive, to I had a budget for it, but also, I think I was expecting more people, but I'm not sure. So
Hmm.
I think that's what makes it hard. So, so I'm kind of like, well, then I'll make it a lot simpler and the food won't be so extravagant, and that's fine,
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah. Um, so sorry, I have people like around me at work.
Yeah, no worries,
But
no worries,
yeah,
no
they're
worries.
distracting me. Um, so yeah, and then people were saying how they wanted to donate, but I didn't get that far to setting up a platform, for this, because some people can't make it. So they said they wanted just to kind of throw money at me. And so that's something else like on my to-do list to try to,
Yeah. Oh, I
yeah,
sent you the contract thing. So if you want to get that up and running
yeah,
this week, we can get that up and running as soon as you look at that contract and give me a thumbs up, then I'll send all the documentation to you. We can get it going.
yeah, yeah. So now that I'm like up and
Hmm.
about again, I can get back to that. Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck. I'm here. Let me know. I mean, at least until Wednesday, I'm pretty open. I hit LA Thursday and I'll be there, for the weekend. But if I can support in any way, let me know. Cool. Anybody else got anything? Final notes, comments, questions? All right. Well, happy week. Happy bravely creating. Keep going. Make stuff. Don't forget who